Sorry I'm late.
We didn't ever think you'd leave Ole Miss.
It does take 4 years, Jolene. I got a job today, writing for the Jackson Journal.
Great. You can write my obituary. Charlotte Phelan, dead. Her daughter, still single.
Does this dress look handmade?
I reckon when you finish it won't.
Thank you.
She looked like the winning horse at the Kentucky Derby.
So I know you guys have known each other for quite a while, but if I did my research right, I believe that you met Catherine Stockett right as she was beginning to write The Help in New Orleans, right? And because of that meeting, there's a little bit of yourself in the character. Which aspects of you are there, and which did you have to kind of pull back to make the character accurate?
Well, the fact that Minnie is voluptuous. I'm a lot more voluptuous than Minnie. Minnie was 165 pounds, and let's just say that's my goal weight.
I think you're beautiful.
Well, thank you. Favorite person.
This is going well.
And Minnie has the ability to speak her mind. I kind of do that from time to time. So those
She can't
two
help
things.
it.
That's a good quality. I like that.
Thank you, but pretty much that's, you know, everything else on the page and on screen is the genius of Catherine Stockett and Tate Taylor.
And what's beautiful about the whole reason The Help exists, it did not start out as I'm going to write a book. When 9/11 happened, she and I were talking on the phone, and she, like all of us, were so lost and homesick. And how am I going to feel safe? And she goes, Tate, I wish I could go be with Dimitri in my granddad's kitchen. She would have the answers that make me feel better, and she's dead. And that was the woman that worked for her family for 35 years, and she goes, I just miss her, and there's so much I want to ask her, and I don't know. I was this selfish 16-year-old who didn't think to ask her about her. And The Help began when she that day started writing short stories as an exercise just to have conversations with Dimitri, and she couldn't stop. And Dimitri became Aibileen, and then she started looking at her life in Jackson and society, and that's how the book grew out of love and longing for a woman.
I have drafted the Home Health Sanitation Initiative.
The what?
A bill that requires every white home to have a separate bathroom for the help.
Maybe we should just build you a bathroom outside, Haley.
Minnie? Hey, Aibileen.
Hey, Minnie.
And I think we all have that point in our lives when we come across a friend who says, oh, you know, I'm writing a book. And then we all kind of go, yes, okay, fine, whatever. At what point with you guys did you realize that Catherine wasn't just a friend writing a book? This was a writer who had actually created something extraordinary.
Well, you know, we're so close. Catherine and I have been friends since we were 5, and I knew she was writing this book, and she told me what the subject matter was, and it took place in Jackson, and being from there, I was like, I want to read it. She goes, no, it's not good yet. It's not good yet. I'm not ready, which is really amazing that she held out for 5 years. But then she couldn't get it published. She had gotten her 60th rejection letter, and she goes, all right, you can read it. Let me see what you think. And I got on a plane from New York to LA, and I just could not believe what my friend had done, and I knew right then she has not only written a book, somebody's going to wise up and publish this thing, and it's going to affect people. I knew when I read it. I was like, I cannot believe that this is not published.
I would love to talk to the people that rejected it and say, okay, what are your thoughts now on the whole situation?
Oh, that's funny.
I bet they'd like to believe that they weren't one of the ones that rejected it.
These women raise white children. We love them, and they love us, but they can't even use the toilets in our houses.
Minnie, are you in there?
You are fired! And for every positive review that came out about this book, and it was on the bestsellers list for, I think, over 100 weeks, and people just really embraced it. Obviously, there are going to be some people that come out and criticize the book. The main criticism being that she was a white woman writing from the perspective of an African-American woman. Is that, in your eyes, a legitimate concern, or is that just someone being too PC about the whole situation?
Well, I'll step in and say what I always found really interesting when I would be upset for Catherine. We would realize that usually about 85% of the people that was crying out about that hadn't read the book. Which I think the PC factor comes in, where it's like, you can't do that now, how dare, and do you agree?
Well, I agree, and I also understand that, you know, because they hear she's writing in a black dialect. Well, to someone who hasn't read the book, it would appear that she's making a statement about race. You have to read the book to know, and you know very early in, like page 1, that she's not making a statement about race. She's writing people of limited education and limited financial means. So, yeah, I say one doesn't have to be male or female, white or black, to tell this story. You just have to be a brilliant storyteller. And I applaud Catherine Stockett, whether I knew her or not. I would have actually enjoyed the book.
You said to write about what disturbs me, particularly if it bothers no one else. I'd like to write something from the point of view of the help. I want to interview you.
No maid is ever going to tell you the truth. That's a hell of a risk to take in Jackson, Mississippi.
Courage isn't just about being brave. It's about overcoming fear and daring to do what is right for your fellow man.
What changed your mind?
God. And Miss Ellie Holbrook.
And, you know, for you guys grew up in the 70s, which is weird to think because that's only maybe, 10 years after some of the most important events in the history of civil rights. Did you ever hear stories? Did your parents ever tell you anything about what it was like back in those days?
I'm sure at some point, but the one thing I love about my mother is she never tried to make us believe one thing or the other. She just put the information there and let us make our own decisions about people. And I think that is the best teaching tool, is to learn and to garner your own information from your own experiences.
Change your thoughts and you change.
I'm gonna help with your stories. We all are.
Y'all brought me into this, but I'm gonna finish it.
Have you lost your mind?
No, ma'am, but you about to.
What do you think in 30, 40 years is going to be the thing that we need to get over today, that we look back and you know, the kids in 50 years think, why did they think that way about that?
I guarantee you, despite what you think of it right now, I bet you in probably 15 years, this entire issue of same-sex marriage is probably going to, people, their kids, our next generation will go, what? Really? That was a big deal? We were asked this question, I was like, what is this? What's the hot topics right now? And I go, I bet that's gonna be it.
I think purple hair. Purple hair will be the thing.
We're gonna look back and we're gonna say, what was the big deal about the purple hair?
I mean,
about those purple-haired gay people getting married. Who cared?
It's quite scandalous. Sounds like Jackson, if you ask me.
You tell Aileen. Do I have plans for her?
You're a godless woman.
I do love that the first question that Skeeter asked Aileen, or one of the first questions, is, did you ever dream about being something else? Which is such an interesting question for anyone, much less Aileen. For you guys, at what point in your lives did you realize that this was the dream that you wanted, that this is what you wanted to do?
I was selling jet fuel. I got a marketing degree at Ole Miss, and I was selling jet fuel as a PR marketing guy in Memphis, Tennessee, and I got a raise and a promotion, and I went, I don't care. I wanted to make something, and that very week they started filming the movie The Firm in Memphis, Tennessee, and I hid in the bushes and watched them make the movie, and I went, I have to do this.
And, I think I always wanted to be a lawyer or some sort of investigator. And then I realized, as an actor, I can pretend to be those things. So, without having to work to go to school. So, there you go. I get to be a lawyer, I get to be a nurse. I haven't been a lawyer yet, so you got to come up with something for me. Throwing that out there now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
I could just write a know-it-all.
I am a know-it-all.
I know you are.
I never would have thought that.
Thank you.
See, still a favorite person.
Still my favorite
Still a favorite person. Well, they're giving me the wrap. I could talk to you guys. I have so many more questions, but I could talk to you for forever. So thank you guys for making
it. Thank you for coming up.
It was really an honor to talk with you guys.
I appreciate it.
Thank
so
you guys.
much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Burst of energy you are.
We gonna done it now.